besties, welcome back. Today we're going to be using Dollar Tree napkins. I love those. But first, we're going to show our word of the day, which is bet. Just pronounced like the way we would use bet normally. Be sure to watch to the end to find out what it means. Here are the napkins we're going to start off with. Oh my gosh, I love these. They're so pretty. And I've got this styrofoam pumpkin that I used many years ago, and I decided it's time to repurpose it. I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. I'm going to paint the entire thing. And it really does a good job at one coat because I'm just going to put napkin over it, so I don't need to make it any thicker than that. So I'm going to open up the napkin, and then my little trick, take a piece of masking tape and put it on the back and then just pull apart the 2 plies. If it's a 3-ply, you do it again. Now I'm going to cut the napkin into smaller strips. It'll just be easier for Mod Podging to go ahead, or decoupaging I should say. I always say Mod Podging by mistake. Do you do that too? Anyway, I'm going to add some Mod Podge and little by little start covering the entire pumpkin. Now I'm not going to do the top of it just yet, just the underside. So you'll see what I mean. I'm going to smooth that down and then try to get it to stay down on the bottom, cut off the excess piece, and then go again from the very hole of the pumpkin, and then coming around the other side, and then just go as far as I can. And whenever I run out, and I'll add some more afterwards. So I'm just kind of pushing it down, but I'm going to be holding this, so I don't want to add the Mod Podge on top yet. That's what I meant by putting it on the underside. So I'm just going to continue adding strips until I get the entire pumpkin covered. Of course, you see here I had it stick a little bit. You just gently pull it up and then straighten it out. It's okay if it gets a little wrinkly because there are those little, I guess, kind of divots in the pumpkin itself, which make it hard to lay perfectly flat. Now I am going to put some on the bottom so that it just lays down while I'm working with it right there. But then I'll come back and do the Mod Podge over the top of the whole thing. I just want those edges to lay down when I add the next piece. Here we go. I'm going to start working on the next section. And you can see I still have a ways to go, and I'll do that off camera. There we go. So now I've done the whole thing, and I even put Mod Podge over the top, and it's dried. I'm going to take some little plastic shopping bags, you know, we've all got those sitting around, and fill up most of the pumpkin, and then I'm going to add some Spanish moss just to add that cute little look of, you know, fall. And I've got this gorgeous fall pick, and I honestly can't remember if I got it at Dollar Tree or Walmart maybe. I don't know. Anyway, they've got them all over the place. Super cute. I've got a pit berry garland. I'm just going to wrap it around my finger a couple times and snip it off, and that becomes the pumpkin tendrils, which I will hot glue directly to the sides of where that floral pick is. I love how easy this is. I mean, even doing the decoupaging is so easy, and that little plaid napkin is the cutest. Oh my gosh, I was so excited when I found them. Have you seen those at Dollar Tree? Anyway, here is the finished piece. I really, really love this one. You'll have to let me know what you think. It might be my favorite from today. For this Dollar Tree napkin video, I've got this cute little pumpkin patch napkin, but it also has a strip of that plaid on it that I love. And then I found this basket at a thrift store for 50 cents. Oh my gosh. And the tag has such a cool scripture from Romans 1:2. I'm going to repurpose the tag, I think, also for this one because I really like it. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is paint the basket white. Now, I will be honest, I realized at the end I forgot to paint on the inside at all. Oh my gosh, so I will go back and do that off the video, but you know what, you need, if you want to, go ahead, otherwise be super careful at the top. I'm going to separate the napkin, the 2 plies, with a little piece of the masking tape, and then I'm going to fussy cut a little bit around the design, not perfectly, but I do want to get as close to, you know, all those little pumpkin tendrils and leaves as possible, and there it is. Now I only needed a piece big enough to go on one side. So I'm going to put Mod Podge down on that one side that I'm going to do. It'll be like the front of the basket. And then I'm just going to lay down the napkin on there, and I'm going to be very careful, and I'm going to push it down and make sure that it is making really good contact without ripping the napkin. That's a little tricky with a basket because it's got all those woven pieces that stick up and, you know, kind of go in and out. But you can do it if you just take your time and just rub your fingers over it. Now I'm going to cut off each side of the napkin napkin because we don't want it on the two other sides there or the back. I'm just going to do it, like I said, on the top. And I'm going to cover the whole thing in Mod Podge wherever the napkin's going to be. I want to make sure that it lays nice. And that top part, I'm going to let it go right over the top. You can kind of see in there where I got a little paint on the inside, and I should have just finished that little rim at least. Oh my gosh, shame on me. Anyway, just remember next time if you do something like this, just pay attention to the inside. I was thinking flowers would go in there and you wouldn't see it. Anyway, I'm covering the whole front with the Mod Podge, like I said, and then I'm going to touch up the edges with some of the white paint because the napkin's not a straight line where I ripped it. So this way I kind of clean it up, and that way it looks like it's only touching the very front. And so if I had a little hanging over, you don't even notice it now. Easy, easy fix. Isn't that pretty? I think it looks really nice on just the one side. Now I'm going to take this twine from the Dollar Tree. It was out during like the nautical time when they do, like right before summer when they bring this out at Dollar Tree. So it's like a navy blue with a regular twine color. I'm just going to wrap it around the center portion of the handle just for decor and grip, if you will. And I think it's really pretty. It's not the exact blue in the napkin, but we're going to kind of make that work. I'll show you. It's more in down in the little plaid is where you see it. So I'm going to paint white over that section of the tag that I saved so you don't see it. And I cut off the top and the bottom because I didn't want the part that had other words on it. I put that same twine in there in the hole, and now I'm gluing it to the inside, and that's how I'll kind of tie the twine together. And then I'll hot glue just the top of that tag right on there. Isn't that sweet with the scripture? I really love it. You have to let me know what you think. I love the scripture too. Each of us will be a blessing to the other. Romans 1:2. Now, how awesome is that? And you guys are a blessing to me. I always tell you that, and it's true. For this Dollar Tree napkin hack, I've got these gorgeous napkins with the like shiplap background and the leaves, and then I've got this cool rake, like the head of a rake, and I can't remember if I got that at Walmart or at Dollar Tree. It's been a while. I got it last year. Anyway, I'm just going to paint the bottom portion of this rake with my white paint, and it's just to cover the orange background because I want to decoupage that napkin on there, and I will just get full of orange if I don't do that. I'm going to put the masking tape on the back and pull apart the ply, and then I'm just going to cut out a piece that's about the right size and lay down some Mod Podge, and of course I've let the paint dry at this point. I'm going to start with the top section. I think it'll be easier to work in sections because there's all those little lifted up or risen up pieces on there that make it difficult. So I want to be able to press in between each of those sections carefully and make sure that I don't rip the napkin. So I'm going very slow, and I'm just going to, gently push on them, and you can see how I'm doing that right here. Once I've done that, I'm going to do the very bottom and do the exact same thing and make sure that it's sitting as nice and flat as I can. I thought this napkin was perfect for a rake because of all the leaves on it. I just thought that was super, super cute. Now we're going to turn this into kind of like a door hanging or just a hanger, that looks like a wreath, but with a rake. And I thought that would be really fun and easy to do. So while it's wet, I think I'm going to try ripping the edges. Now, it mostly works as long as I have a finger on each side, but of course it's sticky, and so everything's sticking to me. So I got off as much as I could, and once it dries, then I'm going to go back over it with a little bit of sandpaper and just kind of get off those little edges. And I also covered the whole thing in Mod Podge, of course. So now you can see where the edges aren't perfect. So I'm going to take that little bit of sandpaper and super, super gently go over that, and then I'll add some more Mod Podge there in case anything lifted. Just got to be careful with edges like that. These are a little different than something flat. While I can, before I add the flowers, I'm just going to add a hanger on the back with a little bit of rope. I'm just going to do a lark's head knot and then tie a knot at the top so we've got a nice hanger that comes from behind. I will go ahead and cut off the excess as well. So now I've got different types of leaves. I've got these beautiful sparkly kind of lighter leaves, and then I've got some that are like the deeper kind of orangey red with yellow. So what I'm going to do is first put on a bunch of those lighter leaves, and then intermittently here and there just add the other leaves for color. Because, you've got leaves blowing from all different trees produce different colored leaves. And then, of course, it depends the time of year, exactly when they fall off, what color they are. So I wanted it to look like an assortment that we raked up that got onto this rake. Then I'm going to add some white sunflowers just for color. I thought that would be really pretty, just to kind of give it a little bit of a difference. So I added 3 of the white flowers. And now I'm going to add a few more leaves here, just kind of falling down to fill in the gaps under those white sunflowers. Now you could use any color sunflowers you want. I just decided to go with the white because it would be a little bit different. And there's a lot of color in those other leaves. So I thought that was going to be plenty. I think this is so pretty. I love how easy this was too. And you could do this with one of your own rakes that breaks or something. If you ever have a broken rake, just make a wreath out of it. I think it's beautiful and I can't wait to put it up on my door. You'll have to let me know what you think. For this Dollar Tree napkin project, what I'm going to do is take this other napkin that's similar to the one I did with the rakes. It's got the leaves and the shiplap, but there's less of the leaves. And then I've got this cute little glass container from the Dollar Tree. It almost could be turned into a pumpkin, but I decided I'll just make it a cute little container. So I'm going to use my masking tape and separate the plies of the napkins. And then I'm going to measure a piece about how wide I need to go around this piece of glass. And I am going to cut off the trim on the sides because we don't need it. So now I'm just going to place this with the trim that I did leave on the bottom, and it'll make this look like it's a wood shiplap with the leaves on it. I'm going to Mod Podge all around, starting in one section, and then little by little press it down, and then add more Mod Podge and press it down. You know how I like to do it in sections because it just works so much better if you can take your time and not have to keep repositioning it. So that's what I'm doing here, and just putting a little bit, putting it down. And then when we get to the end, I've got the leaves that I cut out, and what I probably should have done is left some of that other part of the napkin. I didn't, but I figured it's the similar color with the white, so I just let it be. You could let a little bow or something hang down over. You see there's a teeny little gap, but it's so small, and that could also be on the back or the front, whatever you want. Now I'm going to add Mod Podge over the top. This is so easy. I love just using a napkin to just turn something into beautiful decor. I'm going to go ahead and use my rope that I got from Walmart. It's my favorite one because it's the best price I've found so far, and you get quite a bit of it actually. And I'm going to go around the very top of the napkin just to clean up that edge right there and make sure that it looks really, really nice. And I started in the back, so when I get to the front, I can take the excess rope that I actually did on purpose and make a bow right there. So that's what I'm just going to do. You could also just put it on as a circle and then add a bow separately, you know, whatever works for you. And I'm going to play with the bow a little so I get it to lay just the way I want. Oftentimes I'll put a dab of hot glue just to make sure it touches exactly where I want. I'm going to add some pretty fall leaves all around that bow and just kind of in the top there, just kind of make it look more festive. I think this is turning out so adorable. I think this would look really cute on any shelf in your house or on a tier tray. I'm going to add some of these little berries off of another pick right into the center of where those leaves are, just to give it a little more color and tie it into the prettiness of the napkin. I think this is adorable. Now, if you wanted, you could actually pull that cork out and put flowers or something in here. I chose not to. I think it's cute just the way it is. And there's the finished piece. I just love this one. You'll have to let me know what you think about it. All right, it's time to find out what the word of the day bet means. It means terms of affirmation or agreement. And that's it, and you are now in the know. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye.